So it seems like the whole world is getting shaken up by this recent news that Hertz is going to be purchasing 100,000 Teslas to add to their fleet, which is going to be like 20% of their entire fleet. So what does that mean for small rental car companies and Turo hosts? Well, it means we're done. It's over. Finished. Nah, I'm just playing. Unless your entire fleet is Model 3s, then all joking aside, I think I'm more upset at the fact that I didn't own any Tesla stock or call options while it shot up to infinity and beyond. But since I did get a few questions in my DM, people asking me how I felt about this, and you guys already know I'm the voice of Turo around these parts. So I figured I'd make a video expressing some of my thoughts. So since you guys are already here and the like button is like right down there, go ahead and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel or this is your first time over here, I make content about Turo, business, lifestyle, and just content to motivate you guys and keep you guys going. So if you like content like that, definitely subscribe to the channel. So without taking too much more of your time, let's jump right into the video. So obviously this is a great move for both companies. Hertz on one hand gets to bounce back from bankruptcy and come out with a fresh fleet of electric cars. And Elon Musk, obviously this makes him the richest man in the world by over $100 billion. But what does that mean for us Turo hosts who always seems like we're battling for market share? So who are the hosts that don't even need to be worried about this at all? Like none. Basically, if you're a host with less than 20 cars in your fleet, this shouldn't even be on your radar because car rental demand is such a big beast that at any given point or day or weekend or holiday, everybody runs out of rentals. So if you have such a small fleet, you shouldn't be worried about what Hertz is doing anyways. And some other hosts that shouldn't be worried about it, if you don't have cars in the 100 to 150 price per day range, then you shouldn't even be looking at this as competition. So if you guys been following me for a while, you know that I mostly target cheaper, affordable, fuel efficient cars. So my cars are not priced in the $100, $150 range. So Hertz pushing out Model 3s, these cars are gonna be renting out for around $100 a day. So that's what the average Tesla Model 3 rents for in my area. So none of these cars that are renting for these prices are competition for me because I'm just not in that price range. Don't have the same target demographic. So when you're listing your car on Turo, it's important to know who your target demographic is. Who are you targeting? I'm targeting people who are looking for cheaper, more affordable, fuel efficient cars to get around in, but at the same time, reliable cars, because I don't put out pieces of crap on Turo. So I'm not looking for the cheapest vehicle I can get my hands on just throw on the platform. I'm looking for a combination of vehicles that fit my criteria, something that I don't have to feel ashamed of while I'm renting, something that I could still charge a cheap price around the $50 range, something I could still be profitable, maybe get my money back in a year or less than 2 years. So Tesla Model 3s are gonna have to be rented at around $100. So this is not competition for me at all. And if you're in a similar price range that I am, then this is not competition for you either because this is not your target demographic. So it's not like the customer is gonna be like, well, should I rent this Chevy Malibu or should I rent this Tesla Model 3? Big different demographic. But let's say you are a host who has vehicles in the 100 to 150 range, or maybe your fleet does have mostly Tesla Model 3s. Well, there's still a lot of things you can do to add value to your business that Hertz and Enterprise cannot do, and we're gonna be touching on those things in this video. And it's always important to focus on where the value can be added instead of stressing over things that your competition's doing or what other people got going on. It's not a healthy way to run a business. And I learned this a couple years ago when I purchased my smog station. And if you guys are interested in that video, I'll leave the link in the description. But that was my first business I purchased. And at the time, there were like 5 other shops in my area that were offering the same exact service. So whenever that happens, it's usually turned into a price war, and that's the quickest way to the bottom. So I wasn't interested in going to a price war. I wasn't interested in budging on my price. So instead, I found different ways to add value to my business and add value to the customer that wasn't necessarily taken away from me or adding to my cost. The very first thing we're gonna touch on is adding value. So one of the ways you can do that is through customer service. Now, if you guys ever rented cars from Hertz or Enterprise, one thing you can be sure you're gonna get is bad customer service. If it's not bad as far as like an altercation, it's just that the customer service over there, they treat you like they don't really appreciate your business. Almost feels like there's no personality to the people who are helping you out. And I've rented about 10 times and every time it's the same. It seems like bad customer service is just the trend nowadays. So if you can find a way to improve your customer service in your business, you're definitely gonna be adding value. You're gonna be separating yourself from the masses. Ways to do that is, by checking in on the guests, sending them a message, telling them you appreciate them, letting them know that they can reach out to you if there's any issues, maybe sharing your roadside information with them. There's a lot of different ways you can do it to, not necessarily going out of your way, but just letting the guests know that you're there for them, you appreciate their business. And believe it or not, this goes a long way. Almost like my first time when I rented on Turo, when I was going to Phoenix, my first time in the city, and I rented a vehicle off a gentleman. He delivered at the airport, and we hit it off pretty good. He shared some suggestions about places I can visit. We had a nice conversation. We talked about Turo as a business. We talked about Turo from the customer standpoint. So it was a very nice experience, and it's something that I always remember. And just the little things that he did just went the extra mile, and I never got that feeling renting from Hertz or Enterprise. And while I'm on the subject, talk about this experience right here, it takes me to my number 2 suggestion on how to add value in your business is deliveries. When I ordered the vehicle, it came right to the airport. He brought it right to me. And even though there's rental car companies at the airport, it's just not the same. You have to go through the hassle, the line, trying to get the car to check in, all these things. So having that car being brought to the airport saved me time. It was convenient, and the guy actually lived on the way, like the same direction we're going in. So I actually just dropped him off at his house. Now, I don't suggest you guys do that for deliveries, because if you get the wrong person, it might be awkward. And also, customers aren't really expecting you to be riding in the car with them. So it's just much better to plan your own ride when you're offering deliveries, especially to the airport. But this was just such a convenient experience that, it's something that I always remember. It was my first Turo trip as a guest, and it was a much better experience than any time I ever rented from Hertz or Enterprise. And not to mention, delivery is also a great way to make extra income. Like, people charge $100, $200 for deliveries, and people pay it because it's convenient. The car comes right to you. So not only are you adding value to the customer, but you're also making a profit on top of it. The next way you can add value is just offering cars that these traditional rental companies just don't offer. So I don't know if you guys ever rode in a Tesla 3 or driven one, but it's not the most spacious car. Like, it's really tight, compact. It really kind of looks plain, and that's the look that Tesla is going for. But I guess it's a strength and a weakness at the same time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great experience. If you never rode in one or driven one, I definitely suggest you do that. But I would much rather rent a Model S or a Model Y instead of a Model 3. The Model 3 is very basic. It's almost like a Honda Civic, just like the electric car version. But moving away from Teslas, there's a lot of other cars on the platform, on Turo platform, that you're not gonna find at traditional rental car companies. And the cars that are at Hertz and Enterprise, it seems like they're always the basic models. No entertainment package, no luxury package, no sports package, no rims if you're into stuff like that. It's just always the basic. And on top of that, you can't even pick exactly what kind of car you want. They just give you like a type. So if you want a mid-size or a compact vehicle, you just choose from whatever they had left. And sometimes they only have 2 or 3 cars to actually choose from. And at that point, you have no choice, because they already got a hole in your credit card. You already went through the entire process. So at that point, you just feel like you just got to pick whatever it is they have. And there are some times that I've rented cars from major companies during the busy times, and there was only like 2 cars to choose from, and I just had to pick one. Or maybe I ordered a full-size SUV and they didn't have one, so I had to pick some a little more compact, or go through the whole inconvenience of going to another location and getting a refund on my card. So it's just too much. There's a lot of different ways that you can add value, but just having different kind of vehicles on the platform, that's a way you could set yourself apart from all the major rental companies. And when it comes to adding value, what makes Turo so different is the extras that you can add on your vehicles. Now, depending on your area where you live, some extras are going to be more valuable than others. Like for example, if you live in Colorado and you notice that people are going skiing and snowboarding and stuff like that, then it would make sense to add extras around those activities. And those are things that rental car companies just don't offer. They're not in that game. Even stuff like car seats and strollers. I've had people rent a car seat as an extra in my vehicle just because they're coming to a new state and they might not have that right there. They might not have one ready. They don't want to pay for it. Same thing with strollers. You know, how many people really put strollers on the plane with them when they're traveling? So this is a way that you can kind of draw customers to your business by offering these extras. And another great way to make a profit also, because like that car seat I mentioned, I charge $30 for that. Same thing with the stroller, it's $30 per trip. So those things cost $100 within 3 rentals. They're already paying themselves back. But this can make all the difference for a family that's traveling to a new state that just don't have these things where they're going. So that might be a reason that somebody decides to rent your vehicle instead of going to Hertz, for example, and having to go and purchase a stroller or a car seat. And there's a lot of other extras that I didn't touch on. It just depends what area you're in, but the list is huge. So go down the list. Some of those things you might even have laying around in your house that you could just throw on there, and it definitely separates the listing and it adds more value to your company and your business. It always feels like the people who are the most stressed out and worried about all these little moves are the ones who have all their eggs in one basket. Now, I'm a firm believer of diversifying your portfolio and getting involved in different things just so you're not completely vulnerable to one end. So if rental cars is all you do and you're only on Turo, then you're at a position where you're very vulnerable, because at the end of the day, these are Turo's customers, not your customer. So like I said, I believe in diversifying. I'm involved in a few different things, even though I love the rental car business, and I feel like I'm always going to be renting cars because I only see the demand going up. And now we're going into a age where people don't want to own things. They just want to rent it and use it. And I'm always happy to let somebody use my things for the right price. So I don't think I'll ever get out of this game. But at the same time, constantly stressing about what other companies are doing, that's not a way to go about running a business. So diversify yourself, protect yourself, add value to your business, and you know, you'll be okay. So let me know down in the comments, guys, what do you guys think about this move? Do you think it's going to shake up the rental market when it finally goes through? Do you feel like these cars aren't really gonna matter that much? Do you feel like they're gonna be back at the auction at some point? So let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, guys, don't forget, if you got value out of this video, go ahead and smash that like button. If you like content like this and you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. Any videos you guys want to see in the future, drop it down in the comments. Other than that, I will catch you guys next time around. Everybody be safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.